Good morning. Welcome to News 4 Today. I'm Danielle Jackson.
And I'm Lindsey Nance. Thanks for waking up with us. Danielle, last time I checked with you, you were at 2 cups of coffee on the day. Where are we at now? Right now, we are following breaking news out of Whites Creek as a tanker crash has completely closed down Briley Parkway East as you're approaching that Whites Creek exit and I-24. We were live on the scene as this was all unfolding. Take a look at this video we gathered. What we've learned is that one patient in that white car you see right there is in critical condition. Right now, we have no timetable on when the road will fully reopen. And the amazing part here is that this tanker actually ran over that white car and narrowly missed a neighborhood nearby. So very thankful that we didn't see more injuries, but of course we will be bumping in and out of this, giving you live updates through the show. Right now we have new information for you about a deadly crash on I-24. This was the scene near Haywood Lane around 4:30 Saturday morning. Metro Police tell us that Megan Ball of Nolensville died in the crash. Officials say Ball was driving when she lost control of her car and crashed into a rock wall. And it's been 3 years since 15-year-old Gabriel Parker opened fire inside Marshall County High School, killing 2 students and injuring 14. Yesterday, people gathered to remember Bailey Holt and Preston Cope. Both were just 15 years old when they were killed. For the community, it's a day they say they will never forget.
In a great way.
And your heart just breaks for that community. The shooter, Gabriel Parker, received 2 life sentences plus an additional 70 years. Despite his long sentence, Parker will be eligible for parole after serving 20 years. Police are cracking down on a serious problem in the streets of Nashville. You may have even seen it. Undercover officers watched as drivers lined up to drag race on the interstate this week. When they later pulled into a truck stop, well, officers were right there. The drivers were arrested and one was actually a repeat offender.
County.
And if it sounds familiar, we first told you about this issue back in November. Police were catching groups of cars racing at more than 145 miles per hour. 5 cars were impounded in one weekend alone, but police can only cover so much ground. That's part of the reason why Metro Council is considering license plate readers for Davidson County.
From there.
License plate reader technology was previously banned in Nashville back in 2017. Cities like Belmead and Mount Juliet have actually found success with readers, though. You can find all of that coverage and receive alerts of new development when Council meets here next month on our free News 4 app. All right, let's bring Melanie into the mix now. Melanie, it's still a little bit cold out there, but I've got to say, it feels a whole lot better than yesterday.
Oh.
Turning now to our coverage of the coronavirus. There may be some problems with the new COVID variant, as well as vaccinations. New research shows that 6 people with the new variant found different results of whether or not antibodies even fight the virus. The Tennessee Department of Health says the CDC confirmed 2 cases of the variant right here in our state.
It's detailed.
Now, the Tennessee Department of Health tells us that viruses constantly change and new variants are expected over time. Well, here's an update for you on our state's vaccination plan. Correctional officers and jailers have been moved up to the front of the list. The state says it's because they're constantly in close contact with people every day. Medically fragile adults and families of medically fragile children have been moved into Phase 1C of the rollout plan. However, no one in our state has even reached that phase yet. So, what's the holdup? The state says they continue to request more vaccines, but the federal rollout is slow. The state hopes to start vaccinating adults 65 and up by March, but that's only if supply allows it. Now taking you outside of the U.S. all the way to Slovakia, scientists there are hard at work. They're launching a new gargling test for the coronavirus, and the company claims it's pretty accurate. And we continue to follow breaking news for you this morning as a tanker crash closes down Briley Parkway East, right between Whites Creek Pike and I-24. We have crews live on the scene for you, too. Take a look at this video. And it's hard to believe it's been 1 year since the first COVID case was announced right here in the U.S. Since then, COVID cases have skyrocketed. Now bringing you closer to home, vaccinations are underway at Meharry Medical. The college helped vaccinate 500 people yesterday, and get this, they also had 1,000 people waiting. And hundreds of thousands of Tennesseans have been vaccinated for COVID so far, but we still have a long way to go. A lot of people are finding that it's pretty hard to navigate the process of even getting their name on the list. News 4's Joshua Cole explains. And heads up if you drive a Ford. Ford is recalling 3 million vehicles. The company is working to replace Takata airbags that could explode in a crash. Now listen up if you drive one of these. Older model Ford Rangers, Fusions, the Ford Edge, and Lincoln MKZs are all under recall. And that's not all. There are more problems for Ford truck owners today. The National Highway Safety Administration says they have about 11 complaints of the tailgates opening while people were driving. And if you're a Tennessee fan, it was a tough night on the court for the Vols. We're breaking down some of the highlights and taking a closer look at what went wrong for the Big Orange. That's coming up next in sports. All right, Melanie, you've been following a little bit of rain coming through. What are we dealing with right now?
News 4 today, I'm Danielle Jackson.
And I'm Lindsey Nance. We've got the ladies in the house this morning. And I-24 East is now back open after a fatal crash closed 3 lanes of traffic this morning. Metro Police tell us 1 person is dead following the crash in Antioch. We were rolling on TDOT cameras. You can see that here as crews were working to clear the scene near Haywood Lane. While they were working, a second crash took place. Developing for you right now, the man known as Zip Tie Guy could be released from custody following his arrest after the chaos at the Capitol. A judge says that release would be appropriate for Eric Munchel, but a temporary stay has been granted in that ruling until Monday. News 4's Ryan Breslin has more on the court's decision. And we continue to follow news of a hidden camera in a girls' locker room in Franklin. This morning, we know it's happened in multiple gyms. 32-year-old Andrew Holford has been arrested for setting up a GoPro inside of a Smith County gym. The camera captured young girls undressing. One of Holford's former students told our crews that the news was absolutely heartbreaking. Franklin police tell us no charges have been filed yet, but they're likely coming. This couple is facing aggravated kidnapping and carjacking charges. That's after police say they held up a man in a parking lot earlier this month. The victim told police that he picked up Brittany Craig on Murfreesboro Pike. Then Craig asked the victim to take her to a parking lot. When she got out, police say her partner, Jimmy Everson, approached the car with a gun. He then took his ATM card and drove to a bank where he tried getting cash. Police say the suspects claim they told the man they just wanted some money. Also developing right now, 1 person is dead after a large propane tank fire. That happened at a homeless camp behind Trevecca Nazarene University. Metro Fire tells us they found a person dead inside the tent. A witness told crews that the tank exploded. Right now, investigators are working to learn exactly what caused the fire. Now, the special session at the state capitol is over, so the work that Governor Lee asked lawmakers to do on education is done, for now at least. Here's the big news for you.
We're teachers.
Now, a bill that would have penalized Metro Nashville and Memphis schools for not having in-person learning did not make it to the floor during the special session. Now, unfortunately, no one in our area hit it big last night. Someone in Michigan got lucky, though. They matched all 6 winning numbers. And a fun fact for you, or maybe not so fun fact, financial experts say the chances of hitting a jackpot this big were 1 in 302 million. Now, as city leaders look to improve Nashville's public transportation, we're working for you, taking a look at the areas that would make the largest impact for those who rely on it most. We'll be right back. Now, it's a long read, but if you want to see the full 348-page transportation plan and the study from the Urban Institute, you can head on over to our website, WSMV.com. Welcome back. The time is now 8:38. We've got an update on recovery efforts from the Christmas Day bombing downtown. On Friday, Mayor John Cooper hosted a virtual information session. He spoke to affected downtown businesses, property owners, and tenants. We learned that the city is speeding up permits so that they can stabilize structures with the most damage, like the one you see here. Metro is also trying to stay flexible with traffic in the area. They're working with construction personnel and property owners, but the main goal here, of course, is to keep the area safe. Now, there's still a long road ahead for recovery downtown. We'll continue bringing you the latest developments on air and the News 4 app. Now to our coronavirus coverage for you. So far, more than 15 people in the U.S. have gotten at least 1 dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. That's according to the CDC. Of the 37.9 million doses distributed, 17.5 million doses have been administered. Here in Tennessee, more than 317,000 people have been vaccinated. Now, there's been a lot of concern about how the slow rollout will affect those second doses of the vaccine. And our News 4 Surprise Squad is back at it again for you this morning. We'll show you how they're making a difference for others right here in the Mid-State. That's coming up. Now, here's some pretty fun news for you. This weekend, the State High School Bowling Championships are happening here in Smyrna. And if you haven't been outside yet today, don't do it. Melanie, it's going to be beautiful later on, though.
Oh, yeah, it's cold right now, but yeah.